Hello, beautiful human. I know. I'm excited too for this Troye Sivan interview, but before we start, I gotta ask you, please subscribe to our channel, and we have a podcast. All of these interviews in podcast form. Link in the description below. Okay, here's our interview with Troye. My. Enjoy.
Let's do this.
It's a Zach Sang show. We got Heather, we got Dan, and we have Troye Sivan here.
All right, looking like a silver fox. I love it.
Oh, yeah?
I love it.
Good, thank you. I was like grayer before. Now this is like kind of blonde. But yeah, I'm into it too.
What happens in life where you're like, okay, it's time for a hair change?
A couple of things. I think I was really worried about my hair, like just frying. Like, I'd heard so many bad stories.
Well, from dyeing it over and over?
Yeah, so I had asked a lot of people, just like I got a lot of opinions basically about like what it would do to my hair. And then most of the people who were like in hair care that answered the question, they were like, if you do it right, it's like fine. Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, cool, I'm doing it. I really want to do it. And then, I also just feel like I needed like a bit of a change. Like the album was like almost done, and I was like just getting into the zone and like wanted to start doing like photo shoots and I was like heavily planning the music video, and just stuff was like going on, and I was kind of ready for that. But I did it a little prematurely. It happened like a couple of months before we ever like shot the music video or anything like that.
But the music was done when you did your hair.
Yeah, no, I knew like that it was all like kind of a thing to me that I wanted to like be blonde with the music. I don't know why.
No, it's a life change. I think hair is like so personal to a human being, and when you make a major hair change, it kind of signifies sometimes a change in your life. And I think with that comes a brand new album, a brand new body of work.
Right. It's nice now because I can look at like old photos of myself, and it kind of feels like a different person. You know what I mean? Like there's a very sort of clear like trajectory, I guess, now that you can kind of trace back.
You can tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just from scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah, and then I can be like, oh, that was probably when I was like just about to do that or whatever, just based off the shade of my hair.
My. That is a single. Dude, it's phenomenal.
Thank you.
It's great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling really good. This is like one of the best days of my life. I'm just so like, I've also had a lot of coffee, but I'm like really stoked. I'm so happy.
It's probably the caffeine.
What were you doing last night? Why coffee?
Nothing at all. I was like asleep by like 11, but I don't know. I've just been really looking forward to this, and I'm trying to kind of like keep my head about me and slow it down, and just this is like the most proud I've ever been of anything. So I just really want to like enjoy this moment now. This is like the fun part, getting to share it with everyone.
Why is that? Why is My in this record, different than Blue Neighborhood?
I think I've said this before, but I think had I have had the like necessary like skill set and know-how, I think I would have made this album last time, and I didn't like know how to. So I think that just with everything that I sort of have learned over the last 2 years, and the kind of like self-confidence that I've managed to find, and just all of that stuff, I think I sort of like learned a little bit more how to do my job, and how to just like apply myself better to all of this stuff. And I know that's like sounds like a school answer or something, but it's like I've kind of figured it out a little bit more. And it was the first time that I felt like I had a vision in my head of something, and then like actually managed to execute it, because it's like two very, very different things, which I didn't realize was like, when I first got signed, I was like, yes, I know exactly what I want to like sound like and everything. And then I got into the studio and just had no idea how to like make that happen. So if I go back and like listen to demos from when I was writing my first album, they're like all over the place, I was just like figuring myself out, figuring out who I like to work with, figuring out how I like to work, and I just have it a little bit more figured out now. And so I'm just really stoked that I feel like I got like what I was trying to get.
Okay. You're growing and learning, right? It's like it's the evolution process.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Where did you grow the most between the first album and this album?
I think it's obviously a little bit of everything. I think that the most important one though is sort of like just like sort of getting over, isn't there that thing that's like imposter syndrome or whatever, where you feel like you're like not supposed to be where you are kind of thing?
Yeah.
I sort of get that sometimes, and I think that having to sort of find the the confidence to be like, okay, that idea that I think will be really, really cool, but I'm like kind of embarrassed to suggest or kind of like nervous to do, or, you know, like, will I be able to pull it off or whatever? I think that this entire process, I've forced myself to kind of like just throw that away and kind of like go for it, you know? And I think that it, I can see it at least, you know, when I'm excited for you guys to see the music video, but when I kind of like watch the video or whatever, I'm like, I never thought that I would be able to sort of find that self-confidence, and I think that was probably the most important thing.
It's really special because that confidence only comes over time, and it comes through trial and error and knowledge. It's everything wrapped up into one.
And it comes from like looking like not being scared to look like an idiot sometimes, you know what I mean? Or sound like an idiot, you know, in the studio when you suggest something that's like kind of weird, or you kind of have to put a bit more faith in yourself and in your ideas, and sometimes it'll work and sometimes it'll not. And
it comes from working with people that you feel safe around.
Yeah.
Like totally. I know you work with Leland. Is he on this new album? Did he do My?
He did. Cool. He's on like almost every song. He's my best friend as well, and so that made the whole process a lot more like special, I think, for us. Yeah, I don't know. We just had like the best time. We went to Sweden together and wrote My, and we went and spent a week in Malibu in an Airbnb writing in Malibu. We just like made it a holiday basically.
So you go into the studio for My. Do you come with a story? Do you come with lyrics to him? How does that start?
That morning we were in Sweden, and I'm so inspired in Sweden. I love Sweden so much. And I went to this like sandwich and coffee shop called Joe and the Juice, I think.
Okay.
And there was this song playing, and I quickly Shazammed it just because like something about like the tempo and the groove. By the way, I can't remember what the song was called, but something about the tempo and like the groove of it. I was just like, I can imagine, like, I could hardly hear it because it was on the quiet speakers, but I could just sort of like hear the rhythm of it. And I was like, something about that rhythm feels like something that I would, you know, like, what is the poppiest end of kind of like my sound like? That kind of feels like it. And so I Shazammed it and I took it into the studio, and the producer like heard it, and kind of, you do this thing where you tap to find out what the tempo is. And we started from there. And, it just kind of like took the session to a place where I had never really written before, because normally we start with chords and then I always sort of end up writing these like kind of like melancholy, sad songs. And it just wasn't how I was feeling. So we went in and we got this like kind of upbeat thing going on that just made me want to dance. And it ended up informing the entire song. And I think it sort of really like, the fact that I wanted to dance with it just from like hearing the kick drum at that tempo, I think ended up shaping the entire like song.
In My, it's not a sad song. I think it's a very honest song, right? From my perspective, it sounds like you're singing to somebody, and it's somebody who won't accept or is oblivious to the fact that you guys are totally in love.
It was sort of about that. It was about like, it was just like a kind of like, when are we going to give this up, like this little charade up, and just like let go, you know? And so I think that the verses were supposed to be like, you know, it's like, let's stop running from us, let's stop running from love and everything, and just kind of stop denying what we are, and let's just like go for it. And then the chorus is supposed to be that kind of like, I just wanted it to feel like this huge like release. And I think that melody of, you know, in the beginning of the chorus, it's just kind of like, it helps open everything up.
The song does actually, it's funny you mentioned a big release, because when we heard it for the first time, I was like, the song sounds much like bigger than a lot of things you've done. So you did that on purpose to kind of match the lyrics? Totally,
yeah. I think, you know, for me, like in my personal life, I just feel like over the last sort of 2 years, it's all just been about kind of just like having a good time and relaxing into myself and into my life. And I think, you know, like when I made the first album, I was undergoing such huge changes in my life and just like kind of growing so much. And I don't know, not even like necessarily stuff related to music, just like normal teenager stuff, you know, like leaving home and just growing up and coming out to everyone and everything. I just kind of been through, not in a bad way, but I just been through a lot, and I was going through a lot of changes. And I think that sort of reflected in the music, that like kind of cautiousness and like timidness. And now I feel a lot less of that, and I just feel a lot more comfortable. And so I wanted this album to feel like happier and just like freer, and the the word that kept like coming to mind and has kept coming to mind is like I feel really liberated, and I wanted that to come across in the album.
Is My based on your reality?
Sort of, yeah.
Somebody who just couldn't accept the fact that you guys...
No, it was just that it was kind of like bad timing.
Okay.
When we met, and then I was just like, okay, we need to stop like pretending that this isn't a thing, because I think it is.
Got it.
Yeah.
Is it healthy to live for someone's every move in a relationship?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, like, it's fine. It's good.
I don't know. You run the risk of losing self-identity.
No. Yeah, fair enough. I think maybe don't like take it as literally as that. You know, I think it's just maybe in that particular moment you're living for the person's every move.
I have zero idea when it comes to any sort of relationship. So,
okay.
I take lyrics literally.
Fine. Yeah.
You know,
I understand.
In the song, did I hear this right? Did you say I got my name on his treasure?
Not his treasure, on this treasure. And other people have thought that was that as well. It's not his treasure.
Like, this is mine.
No.
Stamp your name on it. So, what is the lyric?
On this treasure, which is just like the relationship.
the love you guys share.
A little bit less specific, yeah.
But it's all the same idea, I guess.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
This album and your songs.
Okay.
Are they incredibly personal because you work with your best friend? Like, there's a bond you share with Leland. Like, I'm assuming, I don't know, but I would think that there's not many filters between what you end up saying, and you don't really hide anything from each other.
No. Yeah, there's like, I can't think of like a single secret that I have with him, and so that definitely helps a lot. And also, I mean, now we've just been writing together for so long that like you can be completely honest with each other, and also you hardly have to like say anything. Like, I can sing something and I can always tell when he's like not that into it, and vice versa, just from like the way that we respond to each other. So that makes things a lot easier as well. You're not sort of dealing with that like awkward social element. It's like, it's your best friend,
Dude, but those bonds are special. Like, you look at like Elton and Bernie, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of great people who wrote songs together, and made music that'll last forever together because of that bond.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, it's definitely like a push and pull. It sort of feels like two halves of the same brain a little bit.
This album, is every song reflective of you, or are you writing about other people?
No, they're all reflective of me, yeah.
Do you keep like a journal? Do you keep notes on yourself? Do you experience and then come up with lyrics?
I, throughout the gap between album 1 and album 2, I wrote a lot of notes in my phone. But that's pretty much it. I really, really wish that I kept a journal. I kept a journal when I was like 15, and I did it for like 3 months, and I still so vividly remember those 3 months. Well, I think I remember them. Maybe it's just because I've gone back and read the journal a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But like, I wish that I had that. And I don't know why I always say I wish, because it's not too late. Like, I should start today, but I just never want to forget this time and everything. And but it's kind of time consuming and tough too.
Dude, it's a lot of work.
I did it when I was 15. I heard that if you do something for 27 days, you build a habit.
Sticks.
And so I did it. I promised myself that I would do it for 27 days, and I ended up doing it for like 60 something. But then I
Didn't stick.
Yeah, no, and then I think I went traveling or something and just forgot about it.
So do you feel and then take a note on your feeling? Do you detail an experience?
Yeah, or like, weirdly enough, like most often it'll just be a single word, even if I don't even know what the word means yet. Like, if I'm driving and I see like a sign that has a cool word on it, I'll write it down.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why did you take time between Blue Neighborhood and then My? Like, you could have just kept the momentum going and put out new music right away. Like, why did you need to take the time to do whatever you did?
I like really wanted to take a break. I think I just sort of just wanted to spend some time like kind of gathering myself and building a little bit more of like a regular life for myself. And then as well, I just wasn't like ready musically yet. I think I took a good while off, and then by the time I got into the studio, this album actually came together really quickly, I think. I mean, I guess it's been almost a year now since I started writing it, but for me it's felt like bang, 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 bang. We're just sort of like, these songs were just kind of like coming, and there was no rush as well. Like, I could have taken a lot longer. My like team was super supportive of me just taking as long as I needed, but I was really excited. By the time I got into the studio, I had so many ideas and I was like so ready to go that it just was like bang, bang, bang.
Did you lose yourself after the first album cycle a little bit? Because you don't just release an album. Like, you promote an album, you tour an album. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's long, it's hard, and you kind of escape from reality a little bit, or you're taken out of it.
Yeah, I think I sort of, I just needed to do a little bit of like reevaluating, you know? It's like such a surreal experience and such an overwhelming one to like, you know, release an album and have like so many of these moments where like, you know, if I had done like one of those experiences, I would have remembered it for the rest of my life, you know? But to have like all of these crazy, amazing, but crazy experiences happen so quickly, I felt like I was like on the come down from some like crazy drug or something, you know? It was like just really, I needed a second to like regroup.
Dude, and they mush together, and then you can't really, like, you can't appreciate each one for what it's actually worth.
Yeah, and
Or
then
it's
I
hard
just
to.
like, I value very, very highly my like relationships in my life with my family and my friends and stuff. And so I wanted to kind of like nurture those a little bit more. And I was like getting sick because I was kind of exhausted. And so I just needed a bit of a break, and I took it and it was good.
Any collaborations on this album?
I don't know.
Is it up in the air, so there might be some feelers out. Or you have songs that could fit somebody.
There's like one song that I could potentially get someone on, and I haven't done it yet.
Well, let's talk it out. You come here and you put things out into the universe, and they tend to happen. Alessia Cara, Troye Sivan.
That happened.
Come on.
No, I don't want to say yet because I don't know. I'm still not sure if I actually want it or not.
Okay.
But,
Why wouldn't you want it? Why are you on the fence?
just because I think I'm just, you know, first things first. Like, there's a million people that I would love to collaborate with.
Yeah.
But I just think like song is the most important thing, and I haven't decided yet if the song like wants it or not.
Would you ever work with a rapper?
Kevin Abstract would be really cool.
Who's that?
He's in that group Brockhampton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a legend. I really, really like him a lot, and I'm just so happy for all those guys. They're doing amazing. But yeah, that would be cool. And then who else? I mean, I was a huge Azalea Banks fan. That all just kind of like went south a little bit. But
I would love to see the two of you together, promoting a record, performing the record.
it's just
can
one of
make a
those
comeback
annoying
with you.
things where it's like, you just want to support so bad, and it just doesn't work out like that. But
Well, they'll do something else, and you're like, oh, no.
but then she'll put out a song, and you're like,
Fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
but you can't engage.
And then 48 hours later, she gets it wrong again.
Yeah.
Are you ever nervous about getting it wrong? I mean, you seem like, I feel like there is some pressure on social media to at least be out there and to be open, right? And when there's pressure to be out there and open, you run a risk of like
Totally.
having a moment.
Being out there and open.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have a moment at some point. You know, I think everyone does. I think that the important thing is like how you react and respond to that moment, and just being able to recognize that like no one's perfect, including yourself, and be willing to learn and apologize and grow from those experiences.
The internet shaped you. I mean, shaped all of us in this room, but shaped you as an artist and as a person. When you started on YouTube to today, it's a really different place, dude.
Very, yeah.
Like, I mean, I remember those days. You remember posting content during those days. It was just a different attitude. It was a different vibe. It was a different want and a different motivation behind why people were creating. What do you think of the internet now?
I mean, it's like, it's just a reflection, I think, of like society. Like, there's good and bad, you know? And there's certain parts of YouTube that I have not even like delved into by choice, and then there's other parts that I'm like really, really into. I'm obsessed with the makeup community on YouTube. I like watch a lot of makeup videos.
Nice.
Patrick Starr.
Yeah, that's like a pleasant environment, you know. But then there's a lot of crazy people on there.
Yeah, Logan Paul. I mean, he takes, like, as somebody who had online fame really early, you see that, and like, and you've been able to take online fame and turn it into a career that will last forever. I mean, do you have any advice for him? I mean, what would you say? Like, if he was sitting in front of you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm in like the place necessarily to give advice to anyone.
Not advice, but
I think, I don't know. I mean, I just think, you know, with an audience comes like great responsibility, and it's something that needs to be handled very, very delicately. I also think though it's not, you know, he didn't subscribe to himself however many millions of times. Like there's people out there who are supporting him, and so I think those people also have to kind of hold themselves accountable and ask like, ooh, should I be doing this, you know?
Do you think somebody like him can come back from a mistake like that? Like everyone makes mistakes, but that's a pretty big F up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Would you ever go back to YouTube full time, like uploading content daily?
I don't think so. I just sort of like, I think a big thing for me has always just been my like audience is super, super, super smart and always knows when something is like genuine and when it's not. And like the honest truth is that I just kind of stopped enjoying making YouTube videos. And so I think if I was to start up again, they would be like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
You know, because they would just be able to kind of see through it.
But I think like I think as a fan, right, the purpose behind your YouTube videos, right, was to share and to express yourself and to build a relationship. And now you have a full-time vehicle of music. So you're doing the same thing, just in a different form.
Well, yeah, and I think it just grew, you know what I mean? It like changed. I think, I mean, personally, if I was like a fan of me, I would be much more excited by my than I would have been by like a daily vlog, you know? So I'm hoping that the audience sort of just like is growing with it and is interested in it. And I think if I was still doing the same thing, maybe they would have pieced out a little while ago.
Boy Erased. That is a movie you're going to be in.
Yeah.
Cool.
You are an actor. You are. I mean, dude, X-Men, baby.
That was a really long time ago.
I interviewed you for X-Men
No.
10 years ago. We did a phone interview, and you were in Australia or New Zealand.
Are you serious? Australia, yeah.
Swear to God. I remember because the phone cut out midway through the interview, and I had to run from my bedroom all the way down to my parents' office to recall you. I remember it so vividly.
That movie came out, yeah, like
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Something like that.
That is so crazy.
I don't know where the audio is, but I will try to find it.
Please do. That'll be so crazy.
My parents reminded me of it because like the phone line cut out and I was really nervous, and my parents had to help me like get reconnected.
Who were you like interviewing me for?
I used to have a radio show back then. Yeah, it was just like a random thing.
That's so weird because I feel like we're both kids and we're like, 10 years ago. But
It's been a while.
That's nuts.
It's been a decade. Is that crazy to you to think that you've been doing it for this long?
That's really crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I still feel like 17 or 18. I don't feel like I'm only 22, but
You don't feel like you've been aged by working in this business?
Your face hasn't. You look great.
thank you.
So you're such a pretty person.
Thank you very much. So are you.
Is he though? He's being nice.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been like singing since I was like 7 years old or something like that. I think the thing that like keeps me going is that I'm just having so much fun. So it's never felt like a job, and I'm just having a really good time. So maybe that's why I don't feel like I'm like jaded or anything.
None of the drama or the business?
Not really. No, that's another thing as well, is that I think that, I mean, like a quarter of the battle is being able to like do the work and put in the work, and then the rest is like surrounding yourself with the right people. And I got very, very, very lucky with the people that, sort of like hopped on board. So that's been, I think it's like,
it's a team,
the most
man.
important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people. You are the company you keep.
Exactly.
Acting.
Yeah.
How does that reflect in your music and your music style? Because being an actor, you have to kind of be empathetic, right? You're putting yourself into somebody else's situation and somebody else's shoes.
I think it's like, part of one of the reasons why a lot of singers can act and why a lot of actors can sing is I don't think they're all that different in the end of the day. You know, it's like about kind of like replacing yourself in a situation that you're not currently in. You know, if I have to, unless like right there and then I'm going through something and I write it down, which I kind of don't do. I almost always write, like in hindsight. You got to kind of like re-access those emotions, and that's the same thing as acting. Like in the movie, when I was filming the movie, the thing that like helped me number one the most was putting on headphones like before a take and listening to a song because it kind of like, you know, puts you in a certain place.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of the same thing to me.
What song were you listening to?
Oh, I had this playlist that was just like these super, super sad songs. Like, there's a song, you can't swear on this show, but
You can, yeah, it's fine.
it's called Bloody.
That sounds sad. That sounds angry.
Yeah, but it's like a gorgeous song, and I was listening to that song a lot.
That's the name.
So it's
Is
bloody.
that written? What is that about?
It's Martha Wainwright, and it's this really beautiful song, I guess, about a guy that she really hates.
Apparently.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
Okay.
It just like sonically, it's so good, and her
Oh.
voice is beautiful.
I need to look that up now.
But that makes sense, right? Hearing a song can bring out an emotion in you and really
Yeah.
prepare you for a scene.
Exactly, yeah. It sort of takes you out of like the world and puts you, because movie sets are like the least romantic place in the world. You know, there's like a million
Just
people. They're all
looking
kind of
at
like
ya.
looking at you and like grunting and lifting things and like it's just like also in the cast because so the movie is about a gay conversion therapy camp, and my character is one of the boys in the camp, and so I was surrounded by like a bunch of other people who were all super, super nice and super friendly and everything, and we were just kind of like having a good time. And so sometimes though you need to remind yourself to like, you're like, oh wait, you know, I need to sort of like snap out of this fun movie time that I'm having and like get into the zone.
The scene.
Yeah.
Wow. The heavy topic. Nicole
Yeah.
Kidman and Russell Crowe are in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
How do you feel the LGBT community is accepted now compared to when you started?
It's changed a lot. Hey, it's like things are, well, I mean, it's kind of like a bit of both, you know, we're obviously in a fairly like dark time in general. But I think maybe I just followed like the right people online and stuff, but to me it feels like there's been a huge social change for the good.
In Australia, you can now get married.
Yeah, as of like literally
Like
days ago,
yesterday,
yeah.
it was like the first couple marriages happened. So
Can you see the impact that you've had on that?
no,
No.
Because
you
I mean, you're
have.
very vocal about it.
no, I try to be, and I try to sort of like affect as much change as I possibly can. But no, I wouldn't necessarily like attribute myself to that change. I don't think.
I think you helped. Definitely helped.
Yeah. And
I think
you. I
speaking
hope
up
so.
at all helps. You know what I mean?
But I also think that like maybe your tweets are great and your social awareness is awesome, but your music also helped. Your music videos set a tone in culture that made this, I mean, not just right, but normal. Do you know what I mean? Like
Right.
beyond words, I mean, your art reflected what society is and what love is, and that will go down forever.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Seriously.
I think, you know, all I'm like, I think a while ago I realized you can't be everything for everyone all the time. You know, if you try, I think you kind of like end up speaking on issues that you're not supposed to, that you have kind of no place on speaking on and stuff. And so I just thought to myself, what can I personally do that would have helped me, you know, when I sort of like needed it. And that was sort of like that's always kind of a good guideline from where I should like at least start. And then you can build upon that afterwards. But yeah, that's normally where I start.
Which, by the way, like you living your true self and being an artist it did that, right? Like, you know, just you being you and living who you are helped other people.
I think so. I hope so. Yeah. I mean, like when I go to my shows, that crowd, it's sort of like this like inspiration fest. Like I feel like the inspiration that I get from them and that they get from each other and that hopefully I'm giving to them, it's just like everyone's just kind of like letting each other do whatever they want, and it's like the most like beautiful environment to be in. I feel so safe at my shows. Like it's a really, really like lovely space. I think it's also interesting because like when I was growing up, I didn't know any gay people, and I like knew that I was gay, but even so I came out at 15. Even once I was out and had such an easy coming out, until I was 18, where you can then go out and go clubbing,
Yeah.
where are you supposed to meet gay people or LGBT people? So I didn't know. So I like ended up going online and stuff like that. But it's exciting for me to see a environment that's not like at all. There's like no pressure to drink, or you know, it's not
Yeah.
like going to a club where you're supposed to kind of like go a little crazy. you can just kind of come to the show and have a good time and potentially like meet some like-minded people who are around your age, you know, without having to like get a fake ID and go clubbing before you're supposed to.
Or being in a situation that you don't necessarily want to be in.
Yeah, or feel comfortable in, or like even want to. A lot of people don't like going out.
Have you ever thought about writing a song and doing a song that was based on somebody else's story, not just yours? Because you talk about often all the stories that are shared with you from fans. I mean, really, beautiful stories.
I've done that before. The song that ended up actually getting me signed, I wrote about The Fault in Our Stars, that book. So I've like written about films before or books that I've read, but never about like that kind of experience before, no.
I want to ask about the single artwork, because on the first EP, your eyes were covered, and Wild, your eyes were covered, but Neighborhood, your full face, and now it's just your eyes, and the only thing not covered.
Yeah.
You do that for a reason.
I mean, that's like pretty much it. I just think that, you know, I think that like the storyline is kind of like telling a little bit of what this album's going to be about, which is just more of like a kind of like reveal and I think, kind of like a sense of carefree and just letting people in a little more.
Was that planned from the beginning, or did that just kind of work out? Like back when you put the first EP out where you're like, my eyes are covered, let's run with this, and then...
No, well, I knew when I did the first EP and covered my face, it was mostly because, and this is still kind of the case a little bit, it feels weird to like slap my face on the front of stuff, just because like it doesn't feel like necessarily, I don't know, I just never want people to think that I think that like that's what it's about, you know, like the way that, I don't know, just I just don't want people to like get the wrong idea. I guess I want people to really focus on the music. But now it's like becoming more and more, I feel that the music is like really lining up with just like who I am as a person. And so I really feel like I'm like letting people in this time. And I'm hoping that at the end of the album, the same way that I felt at the end of the first album, I'm hoping that people are going to feel like I get you now, and I understand like where you're at in your life, and I relate to that, you know? Yeah.
How do you define pop music?
That's a good question. I mean, it used to be like popular music, but now there's pop music that's not popular that's really good. I don't know. Maybe it's like it's about like the structure, I guess. Maybe you know, it's kind of just like simple in structure, like verse, pre-chorus, chorus. You know, like that kind of structure. But you know, you look at like people like Charlie XCX who are just completely making pop music that breaks the mold completely, and it's still pop, and it's like better than ever. So I don't really know. It's a very loose genre, like, which I think is a great thing about it.
And I think like it's on our part, right, on our side of radio, to keep it loose, because it is. I mean, pop music is supposed to reflect culture, right? It's culture at that moment, and culture doesn't have an equation. There's no definition on what culture is right now.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, I think we've put this weird box around what we think is pop music and what we've decided to define pop music as, which is, like you said, like, I mean, we go through EDM crazes, and then we go through acoustic crazes, and then we go to...
hip hop.
Yeah, and right now, like, we just came out of the whole, like, mumble rap phase. It's all different.
Totally. Yeah, it's exciting.
Well,
it is.
Back in December, you tweeted, I planned everything. What is everything?
A lot of it's been like revealed over the last couple of weeks, but there's still so much going on that I can't say yet. But it's just everything, and it's super exciting. I mean, it was just like, you know, album and the fact that we were releasing the first single within like the first 10 days of the year, and the music video was done, and I did a Valentino campaign.
Oh, I saw that.
And that was coming out, and just kind of like, that's the fun part for me, you know, coming from like just like being a social media geek. I get a real kick out of like planning the whole kind of like announce and all that stuff. I have so much fun with that stuff. So yeah, I just sort of like really dug into that.
What is your favorite part of the process from start to finish, like of making and releasing any piece of music?
Probably the making of, or you know what it is actually, is like probably me like 3 days ago, where I am sitting on the finished product, so it's like fully realized. I hopefully feel really good about it, and like it's perfect. and that excitement of like, oh my God, I can't wait for people to hear this. And then I guess the next like really big milestone moment is doing it at a show where you feel that for the first time, you feel that like reciprocation.
Yeah, it's a connection.
Yeah.
Do you have a first performance of My booked?
I do, but I can't tell you
Wow.
what it is.
Of course.
Can we
not.
guess?
I think it's gonna be a late night show.
Is it
I don't know.
is it
Jimmy Kimmel or
tomorrow?
Fallon?
Is it the Grammys?
No, oh my God, that would be cool.
You want to go to the Grammys one day? You want to perform there?
Yeah, totally. That would. When I think about it, I only really have like a couple of like tangible dreams that I can sort of tick off a list, and that's one of them.
Performing at the Grammys?
Or winning?
Being nominated, I think,
Oh,
was
okay.
always like the. I mean, I would love to win, but a Grammy nomination would be. But it's like also one of those things that I'm hoping will happen by the time I'm like 70. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to like rush anything.
Why
You're
are
here
the
for
Grammys so important to you?
I think it's just like historically they've just been like a really accurate representation of music that like not only sort of like penetrates culture, but I think music that just like a lot of people who know a lot about music agree is good. And I think that that's all that like anyone really ever wants is just like recognition from people that they admire. Yeah. So I would be really, that's like the dream.
You ever think about where you would keep it if you won your Grammy?
No, I've never thought about that. I mean, to be honest, I don't really like let myself think about that kind of, well, just like in general, like I don't really think about the Grammys because, I don't know, it's just like, it seems like such a far off dream and always has kind of thing. But, yeah, so you don't want to egg yourself on too much and get yourself excited or anything like that.
So what motivates you?
To be honest, like the process, it's just like I really, really love what I do, and I love making stuff, and I also just love like pushing myself. It's so interesting to me how just how you can make one thing the next day and then make such like something that is so much better the next day that you surprise yourself. You're like, oh my God, I didn't even know that I could do that. Like there's a couple of moments on the album where I was just really like happy with, I'm like, this is the best thing that I've ever done kind of thing.
Wow.
And so to be able to then hopefully do that again in 2 years is like so exciting to me. Like I'm excited to see what it looks like. And after, getting inspiration from new music and meeting new people and having new experiences and everything like that, like what am I going to want to make in a couple of years?
See, that mindset keeps it fresh so you can do it for the next like 30, 40, 50, 60 years.
Totally. Yeah. No,
very
that's
cool.
what makes it fun for me.
Are you still dating that same guy?
I don't think so.
Very, very specific, Dan.
I just read a lot
I
about
last saw you
Jacob.
guys. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I last saw you guys like a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think it was before that.
You're laying roots down in LA.
Sort of, yeah.
You get a house?
Yeah.
How are we making it feel like home? What are we doing?
Just like starting to get furniture and stuff like that. But
That helps.
yeah, and like a car and just
Ooh.
like starting to kind of yeah, I mean, even just having an actual place to like unpack my suitcase was like such a relief. It was really, really, really nice.
What kind of car do we want?
I don't know. Like basically whatever I can get my hands on, just something safe and with like a good sound system.
What do we think? Like, I'm trying to like put a car to you, and I don't know.
What do you think?
I mean, like, I want to say like a white Range Rover or something, or like an Evoque.
That feels like a little.
Is that too fancy?
No, it feels a little like guzzly and masculine to me.
Okay.
Like a big
I
Range
was gonna
Rover.
say Mini Cooper, but
That's like cuter.
How about a Prius?
I'm into, honestly, yeah, into it. I'm like down with whatever. Literally, I think the thing when I'm like my car checklist is just good sound and safety.
you can get a lot of things. You can ride around in a Corolla.
Yeah.
I have a Toyota Corolla that I'm looking to get rid of. If you're down,
Oh, okay.
yeah, I'll send it your way,
No,
man.
that would not fit him.
No.
You wouldn't look in that.
My
wouldn't look
Toyota
at it.
Corolla Sport with the sport rims, it's sick, man. It's 2015.
Okay.
It's
know?
funny though. You did say you feel so young, but now you're in a relationship. You have a house. You're getting furniture. You have a car. You seem like an adult to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in a lot of ways, I guess I do feel pretty like grown up, but I don't know, like when I go back to Australia and hang out with my friends, it feels like we could be like 13 again, you know, in school holidays or whatever. Just like nothing's really changed in the end of the day. You know, my family is like still the same, and my friends are still the same people pretty much, except for like a couple of new ones over here.
Is it the new friends that you kind of got to worry about?
No, I think I have like a pretty good gauge on when someone's like the real deal or not, as far as friends go. Like, I think in general the culture in Australia is like a little different with friends, in that most of my Australian friends have friends that they've been friends with since they were like really, really young, and maybe because we don't go off to college or whatever, like
You're always together.
yeah, like most people kind of stay in their city and go to the university in their city. I think that probably like changes things a little bit. A lot of people are like still friends with their school friends.
Here, you're lucky to have like 1 or 2 friends that you went to elementary school with.
Right.
Because every, 8 years or whatever, 4 years, 8 years, you just switch them out.
Well, yeah, for me, all of my friends in Australia, I've been friends with since I was 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Last question. Do you believe in labels?
What do you mean? Like
Labels. When it
record
comes
labels
to,
or?
No, record labels, yes. Obviously, we need those.
Yeah.
But labels just in general and in life, when it comes to he, she, and pronouns. I mean, that's sort of living. It's kind of, when we look at the change in culture and the shift in society, I mean, we're getting to a point where, gender is a thing, but it really doesn't need to be a thing, right? And gender technically is a label.
I mean, yeah, I think it comes to, like, it's not something that's like you don't have to, but I think they're really helpful sometimes. Like for me, I know for myself, I needed to sort of like figure out what I was, you know what I mean? Otherwise I would just like have had a nervous breakdown, I think. And so when I first started kind of like toying with a label for myself, once I like figured out what I was by labeling it, it kind of like made things make a lot more sense. The struggle is that a lot of people don't fit in, that's also like kind of an unrealistic expectation for absolutely everyone. That they can fit themselves into one of those labels. And so
but those labels help you find a community, and a community helps you find guidance. And
exactly, like I think when used like carefully, I think that they can be really helpful things.
Yeah, labels are great. They just shouldn't affect how you treat or react to somebody else's label.
Right, and also I think it's like you can kind of label yourself, but let everyone else just do their own thing and let them label themselves.
My, that is a single.
My.
Yes.
My.
How are we saying it? Is it my?
I just say my.
My.
Yeah.
My.
I've started like I just write it as like triple M whenever I'm like texting about it or anything, because it's kind of like annoying to write the word 3 times out.
Or the dance move's going to stay the same.
Yeah.
Is that little Twitter thing you got? Is that you?
Yeah, it's a little me. Yeah, that was so fun. Like filming the music video was one of like the best days of my life. I think so much of that for me was just like about like dancing like I would have when I locked my door when I was like 13 and put on Madonna really loud or something, and danced like no one was watching, because no one was. And I think like my parents walked in on me one time and I was like probably strutting around like a Victoria's Secret model or something, and like I was so mortified. And then to be able to like do that now and with confidence and like just be like, I don't really care what anyone else thinks, I'm just gonna like have a good time. And like I think I realized this time around, like I have the opportunity to literally like live my dream, so I'm not gonna like be shy and let that kind of get in the way. I just got to go for it. It would be such a missed opportunity if I didn't. I was like working with a video director that I've wanted to work with for so long, that I'm such a huge fan of, Grant Singer, and we had this big set and everything, and I was just like, I can't like not go for it. I have to just do it. So
Nice.
Troye Sivan, we learned a lot today.
thanks so much for having me, guys.
Newfound confidence. Good egg, man. Thanks for spending time with us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
A lot of
you.
love. Troye Sivan, everybody.
Hey.
I really hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you did, please subscribe and also check out our podcast. There's a link in the description, and also comment and like and do things. Other interviews are on the screen somewhere, so click them. Thanks for watching.